All right, so you're gearing up for an HVAC engineer interview.
Sounds pretty intense.
It can be, but lucky for you, we've got a ton of resources from RoleCatcher to help you totally crush it.
Oh yeah, RoleCatcher's awesome for this kind of thing.
Definitely. We've got their career guides, their interview guides, and even some AI tools that can really help you fine-tune your answers.
Like having a secret weapon in your back pocket.
Exactly. We're going to unpack all of that today. But before we get too deep, let's break down what HVAC engineers actually do.
Yeah, most people think it's just about fixing AC units.
Right. But it's way more than that. They're designing entire systems for buildings, everything from homes to huge industrial sites.
And it's not just about keeping people comfortable either.
Totally. Sustainability is a huge factor these days,
Definitely, HVAC engineers are on the front lines of making buildings more energy efficient.
which is awesome. And speaking of awesome, did you know there's even potential for self-employment in this field?
Really? That's cool. I didn't know that.
Yeah. So if you're entrepreneurial, this could be a great career path.
So there's like a ton of opportunity in this field,
Absolutely. And that means lots of competition for those jobs.
which is why acing that interview is so important.
Exactly. So let's dive into some of those common interview questions that RoleCatcher highlights in their guide. You ready to tackle the first one?
Bring it on.
All right, here it is. Can you explain your experience with HVAC systems? Seems simple enough, but I'm betting they're looking for more than just a laundry list of every air conditioner you've ever seen.
Oh, for sure. They want to see how your experience connects to the specific job you're applying for.
So it's like telling a story where each project you highlight is a chapter that showcases your skills.
Exactly. And just like a good story, you want to keep them engaged.
So how do you do that?
Well, first, you got to choose the right projects to talk about, ones that really highlight the skills they're looking for.
So if you're applying for a role that emphasizes energy efficiency,
You'd want to focus on projects where you made a real difference in that area.
gotcha. But don't just say, I designed an energy efficient system.
Right, right. Give them the behind-the-scenes look. What were the challenges you faced? What creative solutions did you come up with? And most importantly, what were the results?
So numbers are key.
Numbers are gold. Instead of just saying, I improved energy efficiency, you could say, I reduced energy consumption by 15% by implementing a new control system.
Wow, that's a statement that gets attention.
For sure. It shows
Yeah.
you understand the impact of your work. You're not just going through the motions.
And I bet they'll hit you with follow-up questions to really test your knowledge.
Oh, yeah. Like, what types of HVAC systems are you most familiar with? Or tell me about a time you faced a particularly tough challenge and how you tackled it.
Those are the questions that can make or break an interview.
Totally. They want to see how you think, how you approach problems, and how you handle pressure.
So basically, be ready to share your HVAC war stories.
Uh-huh, exactly. But make sure they highlight your strengths and how you overcame those challenges.
This is where I think RoleCatcher's AI tools can be a game changer.
Oh, yeah. Those are awesome.
They have an AI that analyzes the job description and tells you exactly which skills to emphasize in your answers.
It's like having a personalized cheat sheet for each interview.
Totally. It takes the guesswork out of prep and helps you focus on what really matters.
So much less stressful.
All right, let's move on to the next question.
Okay, shoot.
Can you explain how you diagnose and troubleshoot HVAC systems?
This is where you really get to showcase your technical skills.
Exactly. It's like walking them through your mental checklist when you're faced with a malfunctioning system.
Right. How do you approach the problem? What are the initial steps you take? And what tools do you use and why?
I'm guessing just naming the tools isn't enough.
Nope. You got to explain how you use them, what information they provide, and how that helps you pinpoint the issue.
So it's about showing that you can not only solve problems, but also communicate those technical concepts clearly.
Exactly. Remember, you might be explaining things to clients or colleagues who aren't HVAC experts.
So it's like translating engineer speak into everyday language.
Yeah, something like that. And be prepared for those curveball follow-up questions.
Yeah, like what's the most challenging troubleshooting experience you've had? Or how do you handle situations where you can't immediately identify the root cause of the problem?
Those are the questions that really test your problem-solving skills and your ability to think on your feet.
Okay, let's move on to question number 3. Can you explain how you have improved energy efficiency in HVAC systems? This is where your passion for sustainability can really shine through.
Totally. It's your chance to show them you're not just an engineer, you're an innovator who's committed to making a positive impact.
So what kind of projects should you highlight here? Should you just list every energy efficient system you've ever worked on?
I'd say be more strategic. Choose projects where you made a significant contribution, where you went above and beyond.
Like what kinds of things?
Well, maybe you implemented a new technology, optimized an existing system, or came up with a creative solution that led to measurable energy savings.
Ah, there are those quantifiable results again.
They're super important. Instead of just saying, I improved energy efficiency, you could say, I reduced energy consumption by 20% by implementing a variable speed drive system.
Much more impactful.
Right. It shows you're not just talking the talk, you're walking the walk when it comes to sustainability.
And I bet they'll dig deeper into those projects, asking about the challenges you faced and how you measured those energy savings.
Definitely. They might even ask about your knowledge of specific energy efficiency standards or rating systems like LED certification.
So it's about showing them you understand the why behind sustainable HVAC design, not just the buzzwords.
Exactly. And this is another area where RoleCatcher's AI tools can give you an edge. They can analyze the job description and tell you which sustainability keywords to emphasize in your answers.
It's like having a personal stylist for your interview responses, making sure you're dressed for success.
I like that analogy.
All right, let's tackle a question that might seem a bit more basic, but it's still super important. Can you explain your experience with ductwork design and installation?
It might seem basic, but it's crucial. Ductwork plays a huge role in how well an HVAC system performs.
So what should you focus on when answering this question?
I'd say walk them through your process for designing and sizing ductwork. Talk about the factors you consider, the software tools you use, and most importantly, how you ensure proper airflow and distribution.
And don't forget to mention your experience with different ductwork materials, right?
Oh yeah, sheet metal, fiberglass, flexible duct. Each one has its pros and cons, and they want to know you understand those nuances.
It shows you're well-rounded.
Exactly. They might even ask about common problems you've encountered during installation or how you ensure proper sealing and insulation.
It's all about demonstrating that you understand the importance of every detail when it comes to HVAC systems.
Every detail matters.
Okay, let's move on to a question that's particularly relevant if you're aiming for roles in larger buildings or industrial settings. Can you explain your experience with commercial HVAC systems?
Commercial systems are a whole different ballgame compared to residential ones.
How so?
Well, they're often much more complex. They involve multiple zones, specialized equipment, and intricate control systems.
So what kind of projects should you highlight here?
Focus on projects that demonstrate your ability to handle that scale and complexity. Have you worked on projects involving multiple zones, variable air volume systems, or building automation?
And be prepared to discuss. I can see them asking follow-up questions, like, what are the key considerations when designing a system for a large commercial building? Or how do you ensure proper ventilation and air quality in a high occupancy space?
Oh, yeah. Those are the kinds of questions that really separate the HVAC engineers from the HVAC masters.
So be prepared to wow them with your knowledge and insights.
Absolutely. Show them you're passionate about this field and that you're always striving to learn and grow.
And don't forget to highlight how RoleCatcher's AI tools can help you prepare for those specific questions and tailor your answers to each job you apply for.
RoleCatcher is seriously a game changer for interview prep. It's like having a personal coach and a cheat sheet all rolled into one.
We've covered a lot of ground here, and I think we've given our listeners a great foundation for tackling those tough HVAC engineer interview questions. But we've got a lot more to discuss. So be sure to tune in for part 2, where we'll dive even deeper into the world of HVAC and how to ace that interview.
Can't wait. See you there. Okay, so let's jump back into those interview questions. We left off with some pretty tough ones.
Yeah, but I think our listeners are ready for more.
I hope so, because we've got some real brain teasers coming up. Well, question number 6 asks, can you explain how you stay up to date with new HVAC technology and techniques?
So that's a good one. It's a fast-moving field.
It is. So they want to see that you're a lifelong learner, always on the cutting edge.
So how do you show them that? It's not enough to just say you read industry magazines, right?
Right. Well, those are helpful. You got to go deeper. What are some recent advancements you've been following?
Like what kinds of things?
Well, think about things like smart thermostats, the use of geothermal energy, or even AI in building automation.
So it's about showing you're not just aware of these trends, but that you're actually thinking about how they're going to impact the future of HVAC.
Exactly. And don't forget about professional development. Have you taken any continuing education courses? Attended any industry conferences or webinars?
Those are great ways to stay up to date.
Definitely. And then there are certifications.
Oh yeah, like the CEM lead, AP or CIEC.
Those are like gold stars on your resume. They show you've gone above and beyond.
I bet they'll ask follow-up questions to gauge how deeply you understand these new technologies.
For sure. Like they might ask, what are some challenges you foresee with implementing these new technologies? Or how do you evaluate the cost effectiveness of new HVAC solutions?
So they want to see that you're not just blindly following the hype, but that you're thinking critically about these advancements.
Exactly. It's about showing them you have a deep understanding of the field and that you're always looking for ways to improve.
Okay, on to question number 7. Can you explain your experience with HVAC controls and automation? Seems like everything is getting smart these days.
It really is, and HVAC systems are no exception. Controls and automation are becoming more and more sophisticated.
What are some of the benefits of that?
Well, for one, they can help improve energy efficiency.
Which is always a good thing.
Right. And they can also create a more comfortable indoor environment and improve air quality.
So how do you showcase your experience in this area? Should you just list every control system you've ever encountered?
Not quite. I'd focus on projects where you played a key role in designing, implementing, or troubleshooting those systems.
So for example,
Have you worked with building automation systems, programmable thermostats, or variable speed drives?
and be prepared to discuss the benefits of those technologies.
Definitely. For instance, you could talk about how a building automation system can optimize HVAC operation based on occupancy schedules and weather conditions.
Which can lead to significant energy savings.
Exactly. And remember, those quantifiable results we talked about, this is another opportunity to showcase them.
Instead of just saying you improved efficiency.
Tell them you reduced energy consumption by a specific percentage.
Love it. I bet they'll have some follow-up questions about the challenges of integrating HVAC controls.
Oh, for sure. They might even ask about the cybersecurity implications of connected HVAC systems.
That's a really interesting question.
Mm.
It shows they're thinking about the bigger picture.
It does. It shows they're looking for someone who's not just technically skilled, but also has a broad understanding of the industry.
Okay, let's move on to question 8. This one might send a shiver down your spine. Can you explain your experience with refrigeration systems?
Ooh, that's a chilly one.
Uh-huh. Yeah. But it's a crucial part of HVAC, especially in commercial or industrial settings.
Absolutely. Refrigeration is essential for preserving food, medicine, and all sorts of other temperature-sensitive products.
So if you've got experience with walk-in coolers, freezers, or industrial refrigeration systems, now's the time to highlight it.
And be prepared to discuss the different types of refrigerants you're familiar with, their environmental impact, and your knowledge of safety protocols.
Safety is always a top priority.
It is, especially when you're dealing with refrigerants. They can be dangerous if not handled properly.
I'm sure they'll want to test your troubleshooting skills, too.
Oh, definitely. They might ask something like, how would you diagnose a leak in a refrigeration system? Or what steps would you take to prevent refrigerant leaks?
Those are good questions.
They are. And it's important to be able to answer them confidently and demonstrate your commitment to safety and best practices.
Okay, let's switch gears a bit with question number 9. Can you explain your experience with project management? This one seems to be less about technical skills and more about leadership and organization.
You're right. It's definitely geared towards more senior level roles, but even if you're just starting out, you can still benefit from showcasing your project management skills.
How so?
Well, it shows that you can handle responsibility work effectively with others and see a project through from start to finish.
But what if you haven't actually held a project management title?
Think back to any projects where you took initiative coordinated tasks or managed timelines.
Like what?
Maybe you led a team on a school project, organized a community event, or even just managed your own personal projects effectively.
So it's about highlighting those transferable skills.
Exactly. And don't forget about those all-important soft skills, communication, teamwork, problem solving.
Those are essential for any project manager.
They are. They're like the glue that holds everything together.
I can see them asking follow-up questions like, tell me about a time you had to manage a project with a tight deadline, or how do you handle conflicts within a project team?
Those are classic behavioral interview questions. They want to see how you handle challenging situations.
So be ready to share specific examples from your experience.
And this is where RoleCatcher's AI feedback tool can be super helpful. You can practice your responses to these types of questions and get personalized feedback on your delivery.
It's like having a personal interview coach in your pocket.
Exactly. It can really boost your confidence and help you make a great impression.
Okay, we've arrived at our final question for this part. Can you explain how you have improved energy efficiency in HVAC systems? This seems like a great opportunity to tie everything together.
It is. It's your chance to showcase your passion for sustainability, your problem-solving skills, and your ability to think critically.
So how should you approach this question? Should you just list all the energy-efficient projects you've worked on?
Not exactly. Think about specific initiatives you've spearheaded or contributed to that resulted in measurable energy savings.
So those quantifiable results are back again.
Yep. Instead of just saying, I improved energy efficiency, tell them you reduced energy consumption by a specific percentage.
That's much more impactful.
Right. And don't forget to mention any innovative approaches you've taken or any challenges you've overcome.
Those are the stories that will make you stand out.
Exactly. They show you're not just following the blueprints, you're thinking creatively and pushing the boundaries of what's possible.
I bet they'll have some follow-up questions about emerging trends in energy-efficient HVAC design.
Oh, for sure. They might also ask how you balance the need for energy efficiency with other considerations like cost and aesthetics.
Those are great questions.
They are. They want to see that you can think holistically about the needs of a building and its occupants.
Man, we've really covered some serious ground here.
I know, right?
Yeah.
It's amazing how much goes into prepping for these interviews.
Totally. But hey, at least now our listeners have a solid plan of attack for those tricky HVAC engineer interview questions.
Definitely. We've hit on those tough technical questions, talked about those all-important soft skills like communication and project management, and even explored some of the exciting new technologies and trends in the field like sustainability.
Oh yeah, sustainability is huge.
Mhm.
And speaking of things that are huge, let's circle back to RoleCatcher's AI-powered tools for a minute.
Oh yeah, those are awesome.
They're like game changers. We've mentioned them throughout the episode, but I want to make sure our listeners really grasp how they can help nail that interview.
Right, because they can make a huge difference.
For sure. Remember how we talked about tailoring your answers to each specific job you apply for?
Yeah, that's key.
Well, RoleCatcher's AI does the heavy lifting for you. It analyzes those job descriptions, pinpoints the skills and keywords that employers are really looking for, and then helps you craft laser-focused responses that hit all the right notes.
It's like having a personal interview coach, but without the hefty price tag.
Exactly. It's all right there at your fingertips.
And don't forget about their AI-powered video tool.
Oh, yeah, that's super cool.
You can actually practice your answers, get feedback on your delivery, and even see how you come across on camera.
That's invaluable. It's one thing to have great answers, but it's another thing to be able to deliver them with confidence and clarity.
Definitely. So you not only have a rock-solid understanding of HVAC engineering, but you also have the tools and strategies to really present yourself as the ideal candidate.
So what does all this mean for our listeners as they head into that interview?
It means you're walking in prepared. You understand what HVAC engineers do. You've got those tough questions covered, and you've even got AI in your corner to help you shine. You're not just an applicant, you're a problem solver, a sustainability champion, and a lifelong learner.
And those are the qualities that are going to make you stand out from the crowd.
Now, before we wrap things up, I want to leave you with one final thought. How can you use your passion for sustainability to really make a difference in this field?
That's a great question to ponder.
It's not just about the technical skills. It's about using your knowledge and expertise to help create a more sustainable future.
The built environment has a massive impact on the planet, and HVAC engineers are right there on the front lines, designing and implementing the solutions that can make a real difference.
So think about how you can weave your commitment to sustainability into your interview answers. Maybe you have ideas for incorporating renewable energy sources, optimizing building performance, or advocating for greener building practices.
Let that passion shine through, and I guarantee you'll leave a lasting impression.
Definitely. Good luck with your interviews, everyone. We're confident you've got this. And remember, RoleCatcher is there to support you every step of the way.
That's right. Thanks for tuning in to our deep dive on HVAC engineer interview prep. We'll see you next time.